Imagine waking up every day feeling calm, centered, and ready to face whatever life throws at you. No more spiraling thoughts, no more emotional chaos, just a sense of balance and clarity guiding you through. Emotional well-being isn't just a luxury, it's the foundation for a truly fulfilling life. And the best part? Achieving it doesn't require years of struggle or complicated techniques. Buddhist wisdom has gifted us simple, transformative habits that can unlock this peace within us. By the end of this video, you'll discover 7 life-changing practices that will not only boost your emotional health, but also help you see the world and yourself in a whole new light. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn might just be the key to the inner happiness you've been searching for, the silent force that forms every part of our lives, emotional well-being. What occurs when our emotions are balanced? We find our way to challenges with clarity, form stronger connections in work and in intimate relationships, and decide with confidence. Even the simplest of tasks overwhelm us when emotions overwhelm us. According to Buddhism, inner peace is not something you find accidentally, it's something you work on. And it's by cultivating with mindfulness our emotional well-being that we build a life full of harmony, joy, and resilience flow. And this is what allows us to actually really thrive, whatever life throws at us. Let's explore the 7 habits that transfer your life. Habit 1. Start each day with a clear intention. When you wake up every morning, that's a choice. You can choose to let the day pull you in every which way, like a leaf caught in the wind, or you can take charge, beginning with a single clear intention. And it's not just a buzzword or a quote you can read. This is one of the easiest yet most transformational habits you can adopt. In Buddhism, there's a profound teaching. What you think, you become. Seeds of thought and emotion are some things your thoughts and emotions are like, and every morning you plant some of them. Thinking of picking the seeds for the life you want to grow begins your day with a clear intention. It is a tone for how you approach your challenges, how you interact with the other humans, and even how you feel about you. An intention is never about what you need to get up and do right now. It's about how you want to live. Let's say, I'll finish my tasks, or I'll do my work well, instead of, I'll face my tasks with calm focus. Rather than obsessing over the relationships in your life, you might decide that you'll respond today with kindness, no matter what. The shift in this small mental mindset goes on to create a wave of impact on everything you will interact with, everything you will decide, ending up affecting your emotional well-being. Science backs this up too. Research indicates that people become less stressed and more able to control their emotions when they begin their day with mindful reflection or goal setting. And the beauty of this habit, it doesn't take much time. It doesn't have to be done when you're stuck in a jam, so you can do it while lying in bed with your morning tea, or even a few moments of silence before the dawn of your day. Suppose you begin your day without an intention. Every email, message, or problem is greeted by you, rushing into the chaos with your daily reaction. You're overwhelmed by noon, frustrated because nothing worked, and emotionally drained. This is what the world gets you to do with your mood and energy. You ground yourself in an intention, like putting on armor. You get your move through the day and don't find yourself discombobulated. Your energy is set in the morning and you stay balanced. Recently, we've learned from Buddhism to live mindfully, not by accident or on autopilot, but with awareness. A morning intention is a mindfulness practice, a means to infuse meaning into a single, everyday moment. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. It doesn't solve the darkness outside, but it does make your way brighter. You might start with something as simple as a mantra. I will choose to be at peace today, or I will be patient with challenges. Write it down, repeat it to yourself, keep it close, just like a compass to help you when the emotions threaten to drown you. This habit is deceptively powerful because it trains your mind to focus on what truly matters. Feeling good in the moment isn't all it's about. It's about building a strong, durable, emotional structure over time. And as you practice, you'll notice something amazing. You don't feel as though the days are controlling you anymore. You're in control of how you respond to life. So tomorrow morning, pause. Before you check your phone, before the noise of the world rushes in, take a moment to set your intention. It might feel small, but remember, small steps, when repeated, create extraordinary changes. With this one habit, you're not just starting a new day, you're starting a new way of living. Habit 2. Practice deep listening. Deep listening in a world of noise where everyone is chattering but listening, only a few, is a rare and very powerful gift. Now it has to be about hearing somebody's words and being fully present without judgment, without interruption, open-hearted. Deep listening is a skill, and when you master this skill, you also change your inner world and your relationships with people. One of the Buddhist teachings is about mindful listening, which means that you are paying full attention to what the other person is saying, how they are feeling, and even in the silence. Vulnerable acts like that are an act of compassion, a way to show that you respect and value someone's experience. Deep listening is good for the person listening to you, as well as good for you. The last time you really listened to someone without thinking about what you were going to say or getting a word in for yourself, how did it feel? It may just have helped you feel connected, understood, even peaceful. Now notice how that's different from a conversation where you weren't present and were either scrolling through your phone or mentally rehearsing your next point. Sadly, in most cases, those moments could turn into frustration, communication that fails, and emotional tension. Breaking that cycle is possible in deep listening. When you only concentrate on the person next to you, you provide them with a safe space to talk. And here's the surprising part. Long gone is the idea that healing relationships means healing your own emotions. This practice does both. Listening deeply takes you out of your own mind and its endless buzz. Instead of reacting impulsively, you start to observe. It allows time for your emotions to settle so your mind can feel clear and calm. Understanding why others do what they do and what they really do is key to eliminating much of the emotional pain, Buddhism says. Failing to understand people and being misunderstood cause much of your pain. However, deep listening closes the gap. That's enough to allow you to see past the words and into the intentions and emotions that create them. Take, for instance, you have someone's harsh tone around you and you react immediately. Until you pay attention, you may at least attribute it to his or her trauma or aggravation. It doesn't change what happened, but it can soften your response, replacing it with compassion. Here's how you can start practicing deep listening. When someone speaks to you, stop your inner dialogue. Don't judge, analyze, or prepare your reply. Instead, just focus all of your attention on their words, the way they say it, and how they're saying it. Once your mind starts to go, feel for it to return to the here and now. Also, when they are done speaking, take a minute before answering. It helps create space to begin to understand. This habit impacts in huge ways. In your presence, people will feel seen and heard, and that in itself can deepen your connection with them. However, you will realize a change yourself. The more you start to be observant rather than reactive, the less chaotic your emotions will feel. The conversations with patience and empathy will feel a lot easier and even easier in difficult situations. It takes practice to stop thinking and instead just listen to someone else. And each time you do, you're not just making your relationships better, you're building inner peace. So the next time someone speaks to you, try this. Stop everything else and focus on them. Do not just listen with your ears, but with your heart. But you'll be amazed by how much this simple act brings the emotional clarity and connection. Habit 3. Let go of comparisons. There's a silent thief that steals your joy and robs you of peace every time you look at someone else's life. Comparison. It creeps into your mind. You're not enough, or it's better off for someone else or anywhere else in your journey. The thing is, comparison is one of the most debasing routines around. It gets to weigh you down emotionally until you begin to feel stressed, inadequate, and alienated from who you really are. Attachment is the Buddhism teacher. The suffering is when we attach. We attach to ideas, to expectations, to comparing ourselves to others. The beauty and the uniqueness of your own path get forgotten when you compare your life to another person's. You do not see your own growth, achievement, or potential. The fact is, you are supposed to not be like anyone else. You can walk your own path in your own time and own your own experiences. The problem with comparison, however, is that it's a false narrative. Today, we spend so much time in the digmunities, which are basically the highlight reels of others' lives, that we seldom see the negatives. When you compare your behind-the-scenes reality against someone else's curated moments, you start to feel as though you're not being enough. However, this isn't real life. This is just an illusion that makes you insecure and makes you disappointed. It doesn't mean you stop learning or growing by watching how others do. It is just you shifting the focus back to your own journey. Instead, I recommend making a habit of celebrating your own progress and not feeling inferior as such by looking to someone else's success. If it's a step forward, whatever it is, it's a victory. Proof of your strength and resilience is every step you take to hurdle every single challenge you have ever faced and triumphed. There's something in Buddhism called right effort, which is to say, focus on your own path, instead of fighting another battle with something detrimental to your own health and well-being. It has nothing to do with being pulled in two directions or being hindered in some way by where others are at in their walk, or even whether I am in my own walk or not. Comparison kills your peace and sets you up to measure up. You start to understand that the value you have isn't tied up in comparison versus others, and that value has less to do with who you are and who you want to be, and more about the road you're traveling. That's the key to getting out of the comparison trap. Everyone's path is different. Your path is yours and yours alone, and does not need to look like anyone else's to be an entirely good and meaningful journey. Whenever you customize to your own passions and development, you're setting yourself up for really emotional fullness, self-well-being coming from self-respect and self-recognition. When you drop the comparison, you start the conversation to allow your own happiness to have space. You learn to love your story, your good stories, your progress, and who you are becoming. As you walk your own rainbow, you bring emotional peace and joy naturally because there is no burden of comparison. Habit 4. Journaling for emotional clarity. Out-of-control emotions make you feel like you're drowning in a sea of confusion. You just think when thoughts swirl, anxiety builds, and you try to fit together the pieces that are in a whirlwind. Yet, there's a really simple but unbelievably effective way to take hold of this emotional chaos. Journaling. Simply writing down your thoughts and feelings makes a record of your day, but creating an emotional clarity process helps you untangle complicated emotions and calm the mind. Self-reflection has always been focused on in Buddhism. On many occasions, a space is created to understand the insight of the monks who spend time thinking of their thoughts and actions. Journaling is the same thing, letting you step away from your emotions and see them from afar. It's sort of like having a conversation with yourself. You get to ask, what's actually going on here? And why do I feel this way? If you put your thoughts on paper, you give them form, and with form, start to make sense. Because it's so emotional, it's hard to see things clearly. When you feel angry, sad, anxious, or uncertain, these emotions can quickly spin out of control if there's no clarity. Journaling gives you a chance to be free when you need to express these feelings. It creates a safe space where you can explore your inner world and boundaries without fear of judgment. As you write, words bring order to scattered emotions, giving them shape and meaning. What once felt overwhelming becomes easier to handle. Journaling works so well because it allows you to notice patterns in the way you think and respond emotionally. Writing regularly gives you the chance to spot stressful thought patterns or uncover deeper causes behind what you're feeling. True self-awareness and emotional growth don't begin from avoiding emotions, but from seeing them clearly. Whether it's through Buddhist teachings that encourage us to watch thoughts without clinging, or through journaling, the practice simply lets you observe your thoughts as they are. Your emotions no longer sweep you away. Instead, you begin to notice them, reflect on them, and understand them more clearly. Journaling also opens space for gratitude, and gratitude alone has the power to shift your emotional state at its very core. If your mind is filled with negative thoughts, it becomes easy to overlook the positives in your life. Yet, a little effort to note down what you appreciate, like a warm cup of tea or a kind word from a friend, can slowly shift your focus from lack to abundance. In Buddhism, this practice is seen as equal to mindfulness, which emphasizes being present and noticing beauty in even the smallest things. One of the most powerful ways journaling can help is by teaching you to release difficult emotions. When we suffer, we often try to hide from our feelings, to push them away, but avoiding emotions only leads to more pain. Journaling gives you nothing to fear. It allows you to face emotions directly, writing about your struggles, your fears, and your pain. It may feel unusual, but putting them into words helps release some of the shame and heaviness they carry. Writing honestly about yourself and your feelings creates emotional release, bringing relief and even healing. Journaling is simple yet beautiful. You don't need to be a skilled writer, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The purpose isn't to create a perfect story, but to express what's real for you without hiding anything. Whether you spend 5 minutes or several hours, journaling brings emotional clarity, balance, and calm. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or emotionally drained, journaling might be a helpful practice. Start with just a few minutes each day and let the words flow naturally. This is your personal space for self-reflection and for making sense of what you're experiencing. Over time, you'll notice how this simple habit can calm your mind, help you understand your emotions, and guide you toward the inner peace that comes from truly knowing yourself. Habit 5. Daily moments of stillness. In daily life, everything feels rushed. You may feel as though you are always moving, reacting, and chasing after something, whether it's goals, deadlines, or just keeping up with life's demands. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't come when you're always on the go. Without pause, you never give yourself the chance to recharge and regain balance. That's the power of stillness. Buddhism teaches us the deep value of simply being, without distraction, without effort, and without constant thought. This is what we call stillness. It is the space between thoughts. It is the pause that allows you to reset with yourself. It is the quiet that brings harmony to the mind. When you live in a world that never seems to stop, stillness is what allows you to truly be. And let's be honest, how often do you actually give yourself the chance to be still? For many of us, stillness feels strange, uncomfortable, or even pointless, as if we're doing something wrong by not keeping busy all the time. But the truth is, these moments of stillness are not a luxury. They are essential for your emotional well-being. By pausing for just a few minutes each day, you give your body and mind the time they need to heal and recharge. Picture this. Your day has been overwhelming, your mind overloaded, and your emotions unsettled and restless. Instead of forcing yourself to push through, you choose to sit in silence for just 5 minutes. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and let your thoughts pass without judgment. Don't cling to them, just allow them to flow. In that simple act, you create a pocket of calm within the chaos. In those quiet moments, you reconnect with peace, clarity, and balance. It's a small practice, but one that carries a powerful impact. Mindfulness and meditation are central to Buddhism, grounded in the idea of returning to stillness, letting go of the noise of the world, and embracing the quiet present within you. It's not about emptying your mind or reaching some perfect state. It's about having the grace to pause, step away from the chaos of your thoughts, and come back to presence in this very moment. And here's the beautiful thing. Formal meditation doesn't have to be long or complicated to make a difference. You can weave it into your day, even in the smallest of moments. It could be pausing for a minute while your coffee brews, taking a few deep breaths before a meeting, or sitting quietly during a busy lunch break. When practiced regularly, these small pauses add up, giving you a sense of peace and clarity that helps you move through your day with more ease and less struggle. For me, stillness is part of emotional hygiene. Just like you tidy your home to feel organized, you also need to clear your mind and emotions to keep your inner space balanced. Without stillness, thoughts become crowded and emotions get tangled in stress and worry. But when you take even a little time to be still, you give yourself the chance to reset and refresh. Of course, when life is busy, this isn't always easy, but it is always worth it. You create space for fresh ideas to arise, for new perspectives to open, and for yourself to grow emotionally. Sometimes the biggest changes for your well-being come from doing less. You don't need to work endlessly or respond to everything. You can simply move forward. By taking even a brief pause each day, even just a minute, you connect with the deep well of peace within you that is always there. With this in mind, carry stillness with you as you go about your day. Don't get lost in the noise and constant motion of life. Stop. Breathe. Simply be. Stillness needs to be part of your daily routine, and it only takes 5 minutes, whether in the morning, during lunch, or before bed. You'll be amazed at how such a small practice can bring a profound shift in peace, clarity, and natural balance that lasts far beyond the stillness itself. You don't need to make huge changes in your life to start. Begin with one habit, maybe journaling, practicing stillness, or another small step. Start small and build gradually. The key is consistency. You don't need hours to make a difference, just steady, mindful practice each day. What matters most is giving yourself these small moments each day. Remember, change doesn't happen instantly, but with steady effort, you'll begin to see your emotional well-being shift toward greater peace, clarity, and joy. Choosing to take action today is what sets you on the path to a calmer, more fulfilling life. Start now. There's no such thing as a perfect moment. Choose one small habit, no matter how simple, and make it a regular part of your daily routine. With time and consistency, these habits will bring noticeable peace, joy, and a life that feels closer to what you truly want. So, what habit will you begin with? Let's inspire each other. Share your starting point in the comments below. And if you'd like more life-changing wisdom to guide you toward balance, don't forget to subscribe and stay connected for more uplifting content. The effort is worth it. It places you on the path to emotional well-being. Let's walk this journey together.